Hi, guys. I'm Colin, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about an intercultural communication event that I attended. The event I attended was my girlfriend's brother's wedding. For starters, there were two cultures there, white Americans and Puerto Rican Americans. They were two different sides of the family. Um, to begin, that was the difference between the two is typically Americans tend to be individualistic about their goals. They worry about how things might affect their personal life, their personal career. Whereas in the Puerto Rican culture, from experiencing um, spending time with this family, they tend to be more collectivistic. Whereas they like to do things together, they live together, or really close to each other, where they could just drive over in a matter of minutes if they needed something or needed help. um, and they just like to do things together. I've experienced this. My girlfriend's grandma, um, she wants to do things with all of us and participate in, for example, working out. She loves working out, and I work out. She loves bringing us to her workouts and having us participate with her. But back on topic, one of the questions was, how would this communication event have been different if both or all participants had been from the same culture? Um, well, it would have been very different. I can guarantee you that at the reception. Um, and another way it would have been different if everyone was from the same culture would have been interactions, such as like meeting people, greeting people that you already knew, and um, saying bye to people. Another question was the communication in the encounter effective? Why and how do you know? Well, I saw a group of each from each culture dancing. One of which was the Puerto Rican side of the family, and the other was the American side of the family. Um, I believe people use dance to communicate, well, just like music. You put emotions into movements just like you would into creating a sound on the keyboard or through a beat or another instrument. Each culture reacted to different songs differently. For instance, when a country song or a popular American song came on, the white Americans would begin to dance on the dance floor. Um, many many of the younger kids on the Puerto Rican side of the family would also participate, um, and not so much in the country, just because they weren't of that. They didn't really like that genre of music, but in the pop songs and some EDM songs, they were dancing as well, the younger people. But on the Puerto Rican side of the family, whenever a song with, for instance, the first song with any sort of Hispanic culture to it was Despacito. That song, and then there were a couple of contemporary slow dancing songs with Spanish heritage as well, that they all went on to the dance floor and started dancing. A few of the white people who knew how to move their hips also went on the dance floor, but that was a lot less than the Puerto Rican side of the family. This clearly communicated the differences between the two cultures. Another difference was the greetings. Those would have been very different if they were all from the same culture. Um, where typically a white American family would shake hands or give a quick or a brief side hug, the Puerto Rican side of the family like to embrace each other for longer periods of time. An example of this would be my girlfriend's grandma, who hugged me for. I had just met her this day. She hugged me for at least 3.5 minutes, possibly 5 minutes. I don't remember. I just remember being quite uncomfortable and unsure of what to do, and if I was ever going to be free. But the next question on the topic was the communication appropriate? Why and how do you know? Well, the communication was definitely appropriate. Um, One of the reasons is because Schwartz's basic human values, one of them was tradition. What this wedding reception displayed was different types of tradition, such as greetings, um, and just interacting with people in general, and then, of course, the dance floor. What makes this an intercultural communication event? Well, an intercultural communication event um, would be when two people of different cultures communicate and interact non-verbally and verbally. This event, um, at least two cultures were represented, but two primarily interacted and communicated verbally and non-verbally. And that is why this was an intercultural communication event. And that is my presentation. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks.